Hey traders, John Howell here. Let's get into the markets today. I want to start off with this video here with something that I've been really focusing on myself when it comes to these markets, and the reason why is because if we go look at this war sheet cheat sheet right now, I'm looking at where all the markets are, and I truly believe that where we are right now, just looking at this level here, I really believe that the metals and miners and also the stock market are definitely up towards this part of the quadrant, if you're going to call it that, okay? Which is, as you know, if we're looking for good buying opportunities, we're probably not. It's probably not a good idea to be looking at stuff up here. We want to be looking at stuff down here, right? That's when the tariff situation came and all that sort of stuff. So we can see, this is what I'm focused on right now. So up here, I believe the stock market is actually getting towards this level here, complacency. Just a lot of frothiness in the markets right now, and yeah, I just see that coming right now. Now, the one market that I do see that most people are not talking about right now, but it's probably the big market that I'm focused on down the bottom here, and that is the bond market. So if we go look at, this is the TMF chart through here. So we can see that what's happened here with the TMF chart. If I bring up this weekly chart here for a minute, and I take everything off the screen, we can see how everything's just come down through here, and now we're just starting to flatten out through here. Okay, so what tends to happen with these very big sort of big sort of bear markets through here, we sort of come down through to here, we flatten out for a bit, and then we start to pick back up again, right? Everything just goes in cycles, right? It comes down sort of as you can see through here, right? Let's see how it came down through here. We flatten out, and then we started to pick back up again, right? We came down, and then we sort of picked back up again as well from there. Now, what can tend to happen as well too, what I've noticed when we potentially start to form these bottoming patterns, is what can happen sometimes is, as you can see back here, is that sometimes the market can actually find a bit of a support. It can break down past support, do nothing for a bit, then get back above, and then that's when we tend to see some really nice moves out of that. And this here tends to be the bottom in the market. So TLT and TMF is definitely the markets that I'm focusing on right now for a good opportunity. Now that's not for short term, guys. That's probably moving into next year, because next year I do see we're probably likely to see some strong selling coming into the marketplace as of obviously next year. Now, as I said before, like with this bottoming pattern here, the thing that I'm noticing here is if I bring this up to here, there we go, cool, right? So if I bring up my good old trend lines, everything through here, and I open this right up, see how we're actually potentially getting this, what's called a bottoming pattern, where the market breaks support, it does nothing through all this time, and that's May, June, July, August, and now very close in August, we broke back up, and now we're at this level right now. And so you can see all this major level of resistance here. If I zoom right in a bit more, you can see all this resistance now is potentially becoming support. So that's the first thing. And I do see this actually could be one of those end of trend type of moves before we start to see a move up. Now, looking at the big picture here, if I bring up this screenshot, actually I'll bring up this one right here. Let me go this one here and this one here. Okay, cool. All right, now let me open up the chart a bit more. So the one thing that I'm seeing here is we've obviously got this very big strong downward movements from here. Very strong downward trend line from here, and we've got a strong trend line squeezing up through here. And now we're potentially starting a new little uptrend as well. So we can see that the market's rallied up, come back down. If we actually break out of that level from there, having this as the floor and this is the start, then we're probably likely to see the TM have a pretty nice and pretty fast rally up to around about that level from there. Now, the thing is that obviously this is connected to interest rates, right? Interest rates go down, this thing goes up. Now, we do know that we're in a cutting cycle. Now, one of the things that if we have a look at the markets itself is, let's go and let me show you this here, okay? So actually I'll do this here. I'll do it on this screenshot here. So if we have a look at this, we have a look at the interest rates. This is the interest rates here. The interest rates here, this is the 10-year interest rate. And we can see how the interest rates have been definitely coming down. Moving averages are starting to fan out a lot as well too on the downside. and we're definitely starting to get this whole lower high, lower high, lower high, and a lower high. See that through there? So we're lower high-ing all the way down. Now, one thing I do say is that I do see that this is also potentially a bit of a breakout as well, meaning we're potentially getting something like that going on, as you can see. See that trend line through there? So we have this point all through here and all through there, and this here is a breakout. This breakout right now could scream now we're likely to start to see this happening with the interest rates, and we're likely to start to see a lot more selling of the interest rates, right? So once again, if I bring up my trend line from here and I make that really thick there, you'll be able to see exactly, once again, what I'm looking at there. That's that level all through there, roughly through that level through there, maybe even through there, or definitely through there, as you can see. So as you can see here, what's happening here right now? We broke out of this level here. We're coming down through to here. We obviously have that level through there as well too. And now we're definitely what? Now we're squeezing all the way down through to here as well, as you can see. Now when I zoom right in, what are we starting to see? We're starting to see this whole breaking of the level, and now we're starting to see a move down. So the thing for me, guys, is that right now, this is, well, common sense says we're in a cutting cycle, right? Common sense, we're probably likely to see some lower interest rates. So now you can see the reason why I'm focusing myself on this one sector. At least for an opportunity for me to benefit over the next 12 months. That's what this type of thing that I'm looking at here to see there. And as you can see, that's what's happening there with the 10-year. And then obviously you got the same thing there with the 30-year as well too, as you got that from there to there. That point there, and we've got this bit of a, as you can see, that point all through, probably all through there, as you can see. And now we're getting what? Now we're getting the breakdown through here. And now things are starting to get like, spaghetti-o type thing, you know? And now we're definitely breaking down through there. That was the high. And once again, if I bring this up through to here, just so I can actually just keep it on the screen, as you guys can see there, right? And now we're getting something like that going on right now. And now we're breaking out of this level from here, and we're breaking down. And as you can see, we're now starting to also form a bit of a downward movement from here. Lower high, down. We may do something like that, and they're probably going to do something like that. So we're now on this breaking this level here, and we're probably likely to see, at least on a short term, the 30-year looks like it could get down to, this is 4%, by the way. So around the 4% level looks like it could start to get down to. The 10-year, so that's the 10-year there. The 10-year looks like it could get down to maybe 3.5, maybe even down the bottom through here somewhere. So around the 3.5%. Again, I'm using TC2000 here, but that's obviously the 10-year from there, because the 10-year is this 41. Put a decimal point in the 1, but between the 4 and the 1. So 4.1, obviously 4.1, that's the 10-year, right? So 3.5, that's where we actually could start to see the interest rates coming back down here, and we could start to see a move down through there to there. That point there to there. And if we do start to see all that, and that all starts to kick into play, then all of this starting to click into play, that there, along with this one here, again starting to have just to move back down to these levels through here. That's where I'm really focused on things like obviously you got TLT, which is the main one there. I'm focused more on myself about TMF, and the reason why TMF is because it's the 3 times, but it is a lot more volatile. So I understand that. And also, this here is more like a 12-month type of view as well too. But if we do start to see what I talked about there just a minute ago come into fruition, then this major support level here and here is likely to break, and we're probably likely to make a move back up towards there on that case. Now, the reason why I like the TMF as a point of view of looking in the markets here is, one, it's the only attractive thing that I can put on a portion of my account, not my entire account, okay? This does not go load up all in one go, because everything's pretty high and pretty frothy right now. And also, secondly, if that does happen, if we get a rally from there to there and we get back up to the resistance level, that's from there to there, for where we are now, up there to up there, right? We're talking about a 60% increase that could potentially happen over the next, maybe even the next 3 months, 3 to 6 months, right? Even if that thing took 12 months, That's 100% return just utilizing, just buying it. Now, I'm not saying this could go down, right? But I'm just trying to show there. Now, it gets even better. What if you applied options to this? Which, by the way, I've actually done both. I've done the buying and I've also done the options as well too. Now, long dated, right? This is more like a 12-month thing. This may take 12 months to really filter through the system because I see next year being a very negative year for the markets there. And so this is the one market out there that no one's talking about that I believe has given you, that gives you the best opportunity. It's definitely not gold, right? Why? Gold is up here. Gold, silver, even the stock market. I believe gold and silver right now are through here. And the stock market is here, the complacency. And so we can see that through there. We can see all these levels from here to here. And we also can see that, that if I go to, let's go to this one right here, right? And we go to the actual stock market, right? We can see that we're moving up through here. Now, a bit of a FYI with the actual stock market, guys. One thing I want you to be focused on is whenever we do make these strong moves to the upside, I'll show you this here. This is an example of what I want you to be focused on. Because if we get this, this will be your warning sign to say, listen, we could be getting ready for a big drop here soon. Here's all the different screenshots. Where is that? Where is that? That was one. This is actually one of my coaching clients here. Mark, another coaching client. Another one from Mark there. Chris. Babik. Oh man, I got... that's Babik. This is Robin. Made 131,000. Anyway, these are actually all my coaching clients. Anyway, and this is my actual. Yeah. Anyway, that's the result there as of 20. So this is my actual equity curve here as well too. So, anyway, I'm trying to look for. That's not what I wanted to show you. Let me show you here. One thing I want to show you. I want to show you the crash charts. All right. So I have things. I think I have a thing called crash charts. And I want to show you this here because this is what can actually happen. See this thing through here, right? So with the stock market, I want you to be very cautious of this happening. Meaning, see how the Nikkei 90, there's similar things that actually happen through here. So as long as we keep making these high lows in place, high low, high low, high low, and the high low, we're good. But as soon as we rally up and make a low high and we break the low, see how that was the first time it actually broke a low. We're getting higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then it breaks, right? Sort of something like this here. This is what actually happened recently on the smaller time frame charts on the futures markets, right? See this big drop through here? Why did that come? Because what did we get? We got the low, high, low. It actually rallied down, lower, high, and then broke it, and then we got the strong selling period through there. This one here was also the Russell. We could see the same thing from here as well too. So down, up, lower, high, we broke it, and then we got the strong selling period from there. So if we go to the stock market now, see where I've got my little line thing here? That's the line in the sand. If we do break that, now that's right now, obviously anything can change later on, but if we do break that, that's the low, and then that's going to be more like, see how that's going to be more like breaking of that upward movement from there. If we break this, that's going to signal this top, and we're probably going to start to see this move come back down to here, and that's going to trigger that 10% drop. Now, this is the NASDAQ here. Dow Jones. Again, Dow Jones, same type of thing from there. Let's just see if I can. No, but I can do this. So that's that low from there to there, okay? Russell's already starting to slowly potentially do it. There you go. So, what are we doing through here on the Russell? Firstly, big uptrend from here to here, as you can see. And we're also getting, this is that low point from there. So, if the Russell does hold here, guys, if the Russell does hold here, and we do this, and we start to break down there, we're likely to come back up, hit resistance, and we're likely to start to see the selling period from there. We already talked about the NASDAQ. This is the S&P, same thing. S&P, very strong upward movement from here to here. Just trying to see if we do have any... Yep, that'll be the level that I'll be using. From there to there. That's that level from there to there, as you can see. And we're still pushing up higher now, so we're not there yet. But the warning sign for me is Once again, what is it? It's a high low and then a rally down. And see how, if I zoom in on this one here, let me zoom right in and show you what I'm talking about here. See, this is it here, right? So if this is the daily chart, we would have the move down. Then we would have we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. See how we'd actually have about a week, and then we get a drop down. And then guess what? Then we started to see some stronger selling period. Now, I'm not expecting this type of action. Well, it may. By the way, I'm actually see that there? I'm actually expecting that next year. But for now, that's what I'm watching for. So if I zoom right in and look at the last, say, 3 months, last 6 months. Actually, let's zoom right in. See this last low here. So we had, this was the last sort of lows, higher lows, low, higher low, higher low. Now this is the higher low. This is the line in the sand here. If we do pause here and start to reverse, and it starts to reverse to the downside, that's probably, now we're going to look at the big picture. If we get something like that and we get a breakdown like that, then we may get a bit of a rally for a bit, but then we're going to start to see a move back down towards probably this level here. And that's probably then going to trigger probably a 10% correction to the downside by looking at that level from there. Quick little update on the good old gold and silver market here. So this is silver. The silver market just still very strong to the upside. We're a bit far away from the 9-moving average, so we're still in a very big strong bull market, but we are looking at those longer term charts though, guys. That's where it becomes pretty sort of scary from there, and the same for the gold market as well too. Now, one thing you'll notice about any market here is look what happens here. Notice this moving average. Notice that if we get too far away, then that's when we start to get into one of these periods. So that's where we are right now on the gold market from there as well too. And this is the same for even the mining stocks as well too. So screaming lights are about the mining sector, guys. This just screaming. You do know this thing's not going to continue, right? Just common sense says we're going to get at least a bit of a pullback soon. Bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered. All right, bulls and bears make money and pigs get slaughtered, and that's the thing I want to focus on there. Now, also, I want you also to keep an eye on the real big long-term charts as well, right? So this is the long-term charts, and we're actually in this is the long-term monthly chart. So even though we may, get this type of action, and then we get this type of action, right? This is a big long-term monthly chart, so we're in a very big long-term bull market. So even if we do get a correction today, or even a 20-30% correction, which I see coming next year, like a really weak year next year, that's actually a setup for 2027, 28, and the very big bull market from there to go from there. And the last thing I want to share with you before I let you go is the dollar, right? Let me bring on the good old trading view, right? And then we go to weekly, daily, and then we go to the dollar. Now the dollar, as you can see, what's happening with the dollar? The dollar's came down to this level of support, and now we're just holding here, right? Holding here quite strongly. So if the dollar does continue to hold here and break up and do that and break above that level there, that level was a major level of resistance. Support. It now became resistance through here. If we do break up, we're probably likely to do something like that and have a big move back to the upside.